Hello, hello. Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is co-host Joe Roscoe. Really excited for you to be back. If you're a returning listener, if you're a first-time listener, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, rate, leave a comment. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you haven't checked out our online training program yet, you can check us out at movefastliftheavy.com, where you can train exactly like Christian Harris, founder of Move Fast Lift Heavy. If you subscribe, you get yourself a free Move Fast Lift Heavy t-shirt. So check it out, movefastliftheavy.com. Follow us on the gram at Move Fast Lift Heavy for all things fitness and apparel and lifestyle and all the stuff. Speaking of all the stuff, let's bring on the man, the all that guy, the dude that stands 6'1", 202 pounds, backwards dad hat, French bulldog, attack dog on the porch to all delivery men, a man with many tattoos, a man with a beard as thick as a 2x4, the man, Christian Harris. What's up? Look at that.
What
face.
up?
How's my Wi-Fi? Was my internet okay?
Your internet was okay, yeah. Wasn't quite as sharp as the last one, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you know, I fatigued. I'm getting a little hungry. I didn't recover as well, from that other episode. So I need to maybe get some more nourishment in me so I can bring the heat.
Well, there you go. Fuel that mind, bro.
Drops coming up. For those who haven't been listening to our episodes, we got the Friends one. What is it? Fitness and Friends and Fellowship?
Fitness and Fellowship.
Yeah.
That's going to be dropping on Thanksgiving. But before that, we have our Thank You for Your Service drop to honor the servicemen and women. Competed at the Spartan Games recently and was able to spend some time with some of the Air Force Special Warfare gentlemen and was inspired by their stories and being able to, share the love with them and, just get to know those guys. So we have that coming up on Monday. And after that, we've got our Thankful collection, this time of year, Thanksgiving coming up. People are, looking to be grateful and, do that whole
I
thing.
got you. Well, we're super grateful for you, Christian. Super grateful everyone listening, and we're super grateful for our guests that we're going to be bringing on. Speaking of the Spartan Games, behind the scenes before we hit record, he was kind of poking fun at you about your running abilities, your capacity to run in that Spartan game. So I kind of want to have him chat with you about that. He was talking about what's that guy's name? The famous OCR guy, obstacle course guy,
Hunter McIntyre.
Yeah, that dude. He was saying, I was chatting with Hunter a bit. It looked like you and Meg got your crap handed to you. He's talking let's bring him on to talk some trash. I can't wait for this. So coming on the podcast, we have the head of business development for HYROX World, which is the World Series of Fitness, a worldwide competition for everybody. So I can't wait for you all to hear about the details on that. Please welcome to the pod, Eric Botsford. Eric!
What up, guys? What up? How are you?
Welcome to the show, my friend.
We're
Dude,
great.
I love, I swear to God. So I've done many broadcasts over my years, and I have never gotten that was, I was trying to count that on my invisible watch here. I mean, that was like a good 45 seconds of just some really good imagery right there. What was the beard? The beard with the 2x4?
The beard is thick as a 2x4. Yeah.
Wow. I've never used that imagery, guys. So
you gotta
not
love
only
it.
is this, I love this podcast already. This is great. Guys, welcome. Or I guess I'm not the one hosting today. You guys are. I'm saying hello. You guys are saying welcome. I am Eric,
right.
and we can get down to some business. I can already tell this will be a fun one. So yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Sweet, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah,
man, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm pumped, man. So it's you guys are, kind of creating a movement. I've always been I'm a West Coast guy. You guys are full East Coasters. So it's cool to kind of meld these two together. For those of you who don't know who I am, because I don't have the cool intro and things, and I'm also got a lot more probably gray hair than you both there. I've been a West Coast like CrossFit athlete for a lot of years, so and then kind of moved around in a lot of different zones in fitness. So hopefully,
let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you, Eric. Let me bring you back. Let me bring you back. I'm gonna kick you out here. I'm gonna kick you out. All right, we're gonna reintroduce our guest. This man, 7-time CrossFit Games regional athlete, a student of travel and exploration, someone that seems to be sponsored, I think, by Thrive Athletics with 2 eyes, a man with a washboard stomach, a man from the West Coast with hair as flowy and glowing as the Pacific Ocean on a windy day, a man that puts Brad Pitt's looks to shame, a man that's a real life Ken doll. Please welcome to the podcast, certified lover boy himself, Eric Botsford.
Dude, man, hands down.
I think that's it,
that
bro.
was awesome. I'm kind of blushing right now too. This is great, dude. How are you guys, man? That's beautiful, dude. You guys are amazing. How are you guys doing today?
We're having a great day. It's a Thursday, fitness is, it's not the priority today, but we're getting it done.
Yeah,
low-key.
when you guys are filming, it sounds like you guys film a few of these, kind of chunk them at a time, which is smart. What is the fitness regimen? Are you training in the morning before you're doing these things? Because I would, to your point, Joe, I would get hangry for sure, bro. That would be a rough one.
Yeah. I train in the morning every day, but Thursdays is typically a more laid back type of day. Going hard Monday through Wednesday, especially with the weights, with the conditioning and all that stuff. Thursday is more of a low key, aerobic type day. So got that.
What are you talking about? What do you mean by aerobic? What is aerobic for you?
Today I did, I started with 5 rounds of 2,000 meters on the bike erg, 1,000 meter ski, 500 meter run. Did that for 5 rounds at a zone 2 intensity. So it took about 55 minutes. And then I did a running threshold workout that I actually talked to Hunter McIntyre about. Basically what I did there was just hopped on a treadmill for 30 minutes, started at a speed of 8 for 5 minutes and increased the speed by 1 kilometer per hour every 5 minutes until that final 5 minutes was at about, I think, 12 plus. So it just gets pretty hairier as you go.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
No, I got you. So how old are you?
35. I just turned.
Oh, young man. You're a young man. Sprightly.
I feel young.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're doing that, so you're still fully competing still. And we can kind of tangent off in a lot of different directions on this one because I've been a coach and an energy systems person for a lot of years. So when you're tapping into this, are you educating a lot of your folks here at Move Fast, Lift Heavy on energy systems training like that? Are you kind of giving them some education?
A little bit. We do a lot of zone 2 work, at least once a week, just because it's been very beneficial just to tapping into that longer aerobic system that doesn't really get tapped as much into in the CrossFit space. Everything seems to be pretty anaerobic that we do. Most Metcons are, around that 8 to 12 minute mark. So it's definitely nice to get some of that longer training in. It's great for just health overall, and it's great for longevity in the sport.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, dude. The one thing I will say, again, from switching over a couple of years ago, I was building a bunch of gyms prior to COVID and everything like that. So I kind of toned down competition a lot back in 2018, and kind of switched over to that. All right, I'm turning 40. I'm need to think about this long term. I luckily, knock on wood, escaped many years because before I was even doing CrossFit stuff, I had a earlier athletic career that was spanned high school and early college. So that was so I escaped without many injuries. But yeah, looking at what I'm doing now with HYROX, it's that is that time domain. We are like, it is that anaerobic threshold you're hitting. But as I was on the phone with Kurt Senshaw the other day, because we're going to probably work together on some training plans and whatnot for HYROX. And we were talking a lot about, when he and I used to coach together. He used to fly out to Hawaii, where I'm from, and we would coach together out there. And we talked a lot about like clearing that lactate, right? So, and I think a lot of times what we're doing in programming and training, and I see this a lot, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen it for years. Everyone just goes bang on super hard in the gym and like those, 12, 15, 7 to 15 minute time domains, right? And then they just sit on their ass on Instagram for like 30 minutes, right? Instead of clearing it, or 5 minutes of walking right into another like little 5-minute banger, or like, you know what I mean? Like really testing that threshold, those energy systems, and seeing how you're recovering during that time. And I will say, you badass 20-year-old kids out there and 30-year-old kids out there, like that's really that athleticism, dude. Like to be able to throw down and then suck it back up again, throw down again, like enjoy that part of it, because like it goes away when you hit 40.
Speaking of throwing down and doing it again, we've been doing a lot of that in our training, some repeat work. So where we're doing, a small mini Metcon, something around like 7-8 minutes or so, kind of resting 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, and then repeating that same work again, just kind of seeing what the recovery is like, your ability to push again, see if you were able to pace accordingly on that first one to keep your splits consistent. Maybe you didn't, making sure you didn't overdo it on the first time. So stuff like that, we throw a lot into the training as well.
Yeah, I love what I really love, and this is something I do a lot in my own thing, is like I'll do like a 20-minute EMOM, rest like 3 to 5 minutes, and then do like a 10-minute AMRAP of those exercises. I really love those type of days when I'm programming.
Yeah, work rest stuff is for me. I love that stuff. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's get into it though, dude. So work rest, bro. You had a full week of just like getting beat up, dude, huh? Like they took you out. I mean, it looked like that Spartan Games swim was a brutal workout. I don't even underwater, 25 meters.
So we did the special warfare pass test. So it's the physical fitness test for the special warfare of the Air Force. And what this test is comprised of, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 components. 2 of them are repeats. So essentially it starts off with 2 minutes to get a minimum of, I want to say, about 12 strict pull-ups or more in. Then you have a 2-minute window to do 50 or more anchored sit-ups. Another 2-minute window to do 40 plus unbroken push-ups, so you can't come down. Then there's a 10-minute rest period. You have to do 1.5 miles.
I saw some of those videos. What was the standard on that push-up? Because I saw some of the posts. There was like some like chicken wing. There was a little bit of like chest to the deck for some folks. What was going on with that one? Who's judging the standard on that?
Yeah, so from what they were saying, like your chest had to touch the floor and then your elbows had to be locked out at the top. I was performing perfect reps, of course. I can't speak for anyone else, but that was the standard in which they said for the push-ups. For the pull-ups, it was dead hang to chin over the bar. They wanted us to actually try to keep a neutral head, so not to jump the chin up or reach the chin up as you were doing your pull-ups. For the sit-ups, the standard was fingers in a lock with the hands behind the head, and as you sat up, the elbows making contact with the knees. Then we had a 1.5 mile run that had to get done under 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Then there was another rest period, I think maybe 20 minutes. Then we threw the wetsuits on. And brutal. This is where it got pretty out there. The weather, I think it was 38 degrees, and the water was maybe 40-ish degrees. And we had to do 2 underwater swims of 25 meters without coming up. and then we finished with a 200-meter swim, 2 laps, 100-meter laps around some buoys.
Yeah, the breath hold in that kind of number one, you're probably wearing like a 6-7 mil suit, right? Like you were,
Yeah,
yeah. So which is also, if you guys haven't out there watching this, like if you haven't put on a wetsuit that's like a 7 mil wetsuit, that is you can't even move in those things practically.
it's
You know what I'm
really
saying?
tough to move.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, surfing all these years, like I've worn those heavy ones, man. It's tough to paddle. It's tough to move your arms. Plus, you're holding your breath. Plus, you're getting choked out. It's it's
Plus,
next
the water's
level.
really cold.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Way colder than an ice bath.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh, for sure. So, dude, I mean, this is interesting though, because and I applaud you for doing that, because it's like, and it's kind of the struggle not struggle, but it's the things that are coming up now with me running, doing the HYROX thing is like, so I come from obviously the CrossFit space, and so the timing domains, the methodologies, the community, the lifestyle, whatever. When I moved over here, and like I'm telling folks now, hey, check this out. We got this dope race that's like, takes you anywhere from like where Hunter's time is like an hour, which nobody's hitting that except for Hunter. All the way up to like an hour and a half. Hour and a half of just steady duration work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot for people to like kind of wrap their heads around. So I give you a lot of credit for kind of jumping in and hanging with these folks. What do you feel like is a learning that you're going to take back to your community now after you've kind of like really not only once, twice, maybe three times. I think you had 3 long runs on that thing. 3 runs of that long duration.
I'm definitely interested in learning a bit more, just about some of the running like threshold, like getting a little bit more dialed in with that stuff, the science behind it. Um, I don't think we're ever going to see, at least not for teams, or maybe not for the next couple of years, like a full marathon run. But I am interested to see and learn more about how one trains for marathons and things like that, because it is a totally different beast. Even learning how to fuel during these events, right? Because once you start going into that 60-minute plus, actually 90-minute plus, you need to fuel while you're doing these events, right? So whether
what was your body craving? Like just because this is interesting too for you guys that are either thinking about HYROX, which is like purely carbs, like we're rocking there. I mean, obviously it's not half marathon duration. Obviously, it's not even 10K duration, but it's still you're trying to just fuel on those electrolytes so you don't cramp, because we do have at HYROX like sleds and stuff like that. But like, what were you craving on those?
Do people fuel during the HYROX events?
Yeah, you see it. I mean, like for me personally, I definitely need to go. I'm like a guy that like I've learned that in my many years of doing, like I was with Tough Mudder for a long time. Before this, I was at 6 years. I was like the training director over there. So it's like I found out that even on those races, like I had to eat, dude. And like when I first started over there, when it was like, this is once again, I'm dating myself, but when paleo was all huge, like that's where I was like, oh, bro, I'll run these like 24-hour races, bro. It's like, oh, eating paleo. I'm like, bro, fuck that. Like you're gonna get I got eaten alive my first time doing 24-hour race, trying to eat fats and and protein. Like you need freaking carbs, bro. So yeah, like on HYROX, I definitely see people with like the goos and those little shot blocks, Gatorade shot blocks or whatever they got.
Yep.
They got those work out well, because the big thing for me is just my body I still may not be as 202 pounds of beefy man like you, but which also is another great imagery. But my muscles like seize up. I'm a cramper. I'm a cramper for sure.
Same.
Yeah.
So I was using these what are they called? Honey stingers, waffles,
yeah,
or something
dude,
like
dope.
that. So I was using those. They're very chewy. They're very sugary.
Stuck in your teeth.
Oh yeah. So it's it's learning these little nuances that when you come from a sport like CrossFit, where everything is go 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 go, you're not trying to rest or take a sip of that water. It's learning, actually I do need to take that 1 second to fuel myself so I can continue to go. So it's all those little takeaways. I had some good conversations with Hunter and Ryan Atkins just about like their training, and fueling during these events and things like that. So I'm going to continue to reach out and be a student of the game, because I like to geek out on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I will say, going back to longevity stuff, like I'm, again, 42 years old, like when you look at things, and I'm not saying like go out and just start jumping into a marathon program. I still think that that's like cool. My body can only really handle like really one or maybe two of those longer distance. I try to do like a 50 mile. I mean, obviously with COVID, it's been kind of messing everything up, but like a 50 miler every year, and then like somewhere around like just the marathon distance, trail running. I hate running on roads, but it's fun because you kind of like, you really do step out of your boundaries. And frankly, like 99% of the people that follow your program, like they have the fitness to do it. Like, what I'm saying? Like you can, because it becomes a will thing, right? Like you can will yourself
it's more mental at that point. Yeah,
exactly, dude. Exactly. So, but with HYROX, you got to kind of have some skill too. I mean, that's why I kind of really like it, because it combines that, like, as Chris and I were talking about, right? It's like you can run really fast, cool. You can be really strong, awesome. But how do you link those two together? And really, as I've seen with HYROX, which if you guys haven't out there that are watching this, please go over to HYROX.com, check it out. But essentially, we're an 8-station, for those CrossFitters out there, I always go, we're an 8-station workout, right? So you run 1,000 meters and then perform a workout right afterwards. By workout, I mean a monostructural element like skier, sled push, sled pull, burpee broad jumps, rowing, farmer's carries, lunges, and wall balls at the end of it, just to smoke the shit out your legs before you cross the finish line. So yeah, it's about it. What we've found though now, and what's super interesting about the athletes that are developing in HYROX, is that those folks, as you said, right? Like it's either in CrossFit, it's like go hard, stop, go hard, stop, go hard, stop. It's those transitions times. Like how can you run, push a sled, and then get back to the run, get your freaking legs moving, and that's really the
clear the fatigue.
Clear the fatigue. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always have Chris in my head, but if you've been to Chris Henshaw, any of you guys out there in the Chris Henshaw's, listen to him talk or whatever, that's his thing, man. It's like, get your ass moving again, clear that fatigue. Yeah. So yeah, it's super interesting, but I don't know. What do you think about like something like HYROX, you know what I'm saying? Which combines kind of some elements that you're badass at, the strength element stuff.
I'd love to give it a shot one day. I mean, 1K isn't terribly long, so I would like to give it a shot,
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, we've had a lot of interest actually. I mean, obviously my social network in the CrossFit space, like we've had a lot of folks kind of reach out, everybody from like Christy to Carrie to a lot of the guys too. If you've watched the Dallas Invitational, we had Elijah Mojave came out, raced. We have Joshua Alshama. I just hired him actually. He's working for me now.
I met him out at the games this year.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh is a cool kid, man, and he's doing it though too. He's a great. If you guys should follow him too. He's a guy that's like saying, "Damn, I have all this fitness now." He's younger too, so he can do it. But like, he's like, "Damn, well, okay, let's go use this fitness." So he's doing like half marathon. He just did like a triathlon or duathlon, whatever it is, in Palm Springs the other weekend. So yeah, cool dude. But we're getting a lot of folks that are kind of meandering over because it is definitely a long-term sport that anybody can kind of do. So I'm fired up to kind of like keep building this thing over the next year.
When did you all start this? I feel like I saw a YouTube vlog about it, like maybe 2 years ago. How long has this been going on?
Yeah, so it started in 2017 in Hamburg, Germany, and it's bro, I'll tell you, I went over there for my first time when I first joined the team. Like we filmed that show. I don't know if you guys can see it on YouTube, but we filmed the show. I invited like Sam Briggs over, Adam Klink came over, and then a bunch of Europeans, and we filmed the first show for like this was kind of like right in the height of COVID or whatever. And dude, blew my mind, bro. This sport is massive in Europe, especially obviously in Germany. Just because they don't have the CrossFit scene like we do here, they don't have nearly we have every single event series you can want, right? It's Spartan, Tough Mudder, HYROX, CrossFit, Ragnar, the whole triathlon, Ironman, they just don't have that over there. So it's really, really huge. But came over here, obviously they produced a couple events before, this is before my time. And then obviously with the hiatus during COVID, kind of shut everything down. I came over. You're speaking to me from our headquarters now here in the U.S., which is in Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
So,
Good place to do it.
Speaking of Denver, Colorado, there's elevation there. I was introduced to fitness with quite a bit of elevation this past week. That's another thing that I kind of learned about that plays a pretty big role in fitness and, you know, just your performance in general is elevation, and then even elevation in a specific event. Like, it was something I'd never even thought about. Like, I remember when they were briefing us on the half marathon event, and some of the guys were saying, all right, well, how much elevation gain is in this workout? I'm like, I never even thought about that. You know, like, I'm concerned about the distance. Like, I didn't even think about, all right, we're gaining 2,000 feet of elevation during this run. Like, that's a whole nother thing to be educated about, you know?
Bro, check this out, dude. And I'll tell you this straight up, like, there's a reason why, like, the best athletes I moved to Colorado because my buddy Matt was telling me from Hawaii. He's like, bro, because I was opening gyms at the time. He's like, bro, you got to move to Denver. Because I was thinking like Texas, maybe Austin, something like that. He's like, bro, Denver's where it's at. And I dropped in here. It's the reason why there's so many badass freaking athletes living here is because of that exact thing, right? Because I live in Golden, so I'm like right at the base of the mountain. I can leave my garage on my road bike and get within 1 hour, drive to the top of this, world-renowned, road cycling course and get like 2,800 feet of elevation gain, which is like, for those of you who know about Colorado elevation, that's like good stuff. Because we start at like 6,000 feet right here, going up to 9,000, 8,000, 9,000 feet of elevation. So you're getting your ass handed to you. My first 3 months living here, bro, you just get fucking smashed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I thought I was like a pretty decent athlete, get here and just getting crushed.
Yeah.
But check this out though. This is what I've learned though. So it takes 3 months to fully acclimate. It takes you 1 week to basically lose everything once you go back to sea level. Okay. So
that's some bullshit.
Yeah, I know it totally sucks. But that 1 week, bro, I tell you, bro, check this out. So like I get to go, part of my job is I get to travel around the country and get to go do fitness with people all day. So it's a badass job. I go into town, like I was in, where was I? I don't know. I'm always Texas, LA, wherever I'm at. And just, you have this extra gear, bro. And it's just like, you take all these like heaters, like, oh, who's this old guy like trying to, boss on me? And I'm just like smashing these young kids, bro. Cause you just get, you just have that. There's that level, like that red blood cell count that, it's the hemoglobins. You're able to just crush. So it's pretty cool, but it does go away, which is unfortunate. And then you come back here and you got to get back into it. So.
Right.
But yeah, dude, like the elevation gain is a real thing. And yeah, anytime you want to come out here, dude, like we'll put it down, we'll throw it down because it definitely will allow you. Oh, here's the other aspect of elevation that most people don't realize. You can train to about 85% of your threshold here in elevation. You'll never be able to truly test your max threshold. I've learned that as well. And that's actually, I was talking to one of our athletes in HYROX. Her name's Rebecca Hammond, who's like she went to like Harvard Medical School. She's badass. And so she was like dropping some knowledge. We were chatting about it. And she was explaining to me like just the physiological processes that happen at this elevation don't allow you to truly tap that 90% max. So
wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's quite humbling as well.
I'm sure it feels like you're at 110%.
Well, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Is I guess just you just so that there is a level where like some of these athletes, I think these like because there's a lot of triathletes here, there's a lot of cyclists and everything like that live here in Colorado, and badass CrossFitters too. But what their training is like they spend most of their time here at elevation, and then they drop down into to sea level to go punch it out for like about a week and a half or so beforehand, and just to kind of hit that thing, taper back, and then they go into their competition. So there's like a real scalable quality to kind of this kind of living at elevation thing.
What's the research on that? If you know it, obviously I don't. That's why I'm asking the question. You said you could only get to about 85%. You can't truly get to 100% of your capacity. However, how does that transfer over once you get to lower, more quote unquote normal elevation? Does what's the percentages of increasing your 100% because of training at only 85% in elevation?
Yeah, see that. I mean, I can only speak to like just, just anecdotal stuff that I'm just hearing from like these other folks that have been in the thing. I have not actually like seen the data on that. It's just kind of what I've heard from multiple athletes now that I've been in Colorado for a while. But I think, a case could be made that like, obviously physiologically you're at that point where you're that 85% pretty damn good, obviously, right? If you can really max out and maintain at that level, that last 90% is, I mean, maybe I'm just making like a subjective statement, but it's like a lot of that's like how much pain can you really take? Like, I think that last bit of that threshold training is like, it's about clearing, obviously 100%. Like it's about your body being able to process like all the metabolites that are like getting just, produced during that like maximal exertion, but it is, I think, a bit about your mental level of like how much pain can I take. Yeah.
All right,
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with that.
I don't
Christian,
know.
you're gonna
No, I got nothing. I'm just taking it in.
You just brought up pain, and I've been wanting to like talk about the comparison between the HYROX and CrossFit. So we have obviously the predominant amount of our listeners are CrossFitters. What does HYROX provide that is similar that CrossFitters could get around and be about? But what is different about it that you still think would serve the CrossFit community and have them consider to like try to jump on this train?
Yeah, so that's a great segue. So we're, at HYROX, obviously, as I said, it's an 8-station workout essentially, right? And the movements are actually, let me back up a little bit more. So the competition itself, we are like the marathon of fitness, right? Wherein like we are a data tracking, like, and benchmarking race, right? Every race that you go to, every HYROX race is going to be the same, right? Which is, something that we look for, maybe not in everyday training, but like when we go to benchmark, when you guys have, I'm sure at Move Fast Lift Heavy, you guys have specific benchmark workouts and things that you test your athletes on so that you can gauge their performance, right? That's how we build as athletes. That's how we just basically benchmark our progress, for lack of better terms. And so every CrossFitter in the world is going to understand that element of our workouts, right? So like when you get your results at the end of every race, we break it down. We take 129 data points during our race. We break that down into unique split times. So I can tell you exactly where you were at on your split time for your first run to your last run, in between runs. I can tell you what your sled pulls and sled push benchmark times or your split times were for that, everything, sandbag lunges, wall ball shots, all that stuff is being tracked while you're on course. So absolutely 100% every CrossFitter in the world should be like, badass. I arbitrarily go into my gym every day and like, we do 15 clean and jerks and, run 400 meters. Okay, cool. The next week I do 15 clean and jerks, row 1,000 meters, and then do a bunch of wall ball shots. Is that, it's kind of like and I have a time and I can kind of see, okay, it took me about, a minute and a half to do those 15 clean and jerks, because it was this loading, cool, like whatever. I can kind of like understand where I'm at in the barometer there. HYROX is like absolutely like my sled push is exactly this. And like 6 months later, I'm testing it again, I'm racing again. And it's exactly that. It's like the stimulus is the same. So it's quantifiable in a way that no other sport is. And even, still, it makes my job kind of easier, right? Because it's as a coach and as somebody who's like still guiding athletes along this way, right? It's again, unless we have benchmarking baked into your program in the gym each and every day, or not each and every day, but like quarterly or whatnot, you're truly not measuring it, in a very quantifiable way. So, and I'm a data geek like you guys. Like I love that type of stuff. So that aside, let's get into the actual workouts themselves. Like the workouts are fitness tests that everybody does every day. 1,000-meter ski erg, 1,000-meter row, 100 wall balls, farmer carry 200 meters. These are things that we practice each and every day in the CrossFit gym, in the CrossFit space. And this is what we test. You know what I mean? It is the first competition of its kind where it's like, again, scalable, quantifiable, but also relatable, right? As I said, I came from, being the training director over at Tough Mudder for a bunch of years, right? which I loved that sport. It was immensely gratifying to watch these folks come into basically the first competition that most have ever done in their life, and they're doing it type of thing. But as a coach, it was tough for me because I was like, all right, this is where we're training every day, but the course is always kind of different, and really I want you to do kettlebell swings, but we're going to apply that to the power it takes to jump over this mud puddle or whatever. That's like, it's kind of really tough to draw those comparisons. With HYROX, it's like, bro, I'm going to get you 1,000-meter split time. Cool. And then we're going to go test it at HYROX. Perfect. That's a 1-to-1 comparable ratio right there, that we can basically go like apples to apples on. And there's really no other sport that's kind of doing that right now, obviously, because even in the CrossFit space, which once again, love always, is, every competition is different. Chris, you're going to go to the games next year. It's going to be a totally different bunch of workouts, and I feel like that's something that I'm like, okay, cool. Like, perfect. Like a couple of years ago during COVID, right? Like when the games was like all running, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that sucked for those dudes who couldn't run that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still brutal, but it's like, okay, cool. Well, like the Spartan Games, he said, like, you got 3 out of the 6 were running events, like longer running events that had to be, that's just geared towards that athlete. So
yeah, I do. So
Wait, Christian, let's really zoom into this, because I think this is a really good conversation, because you're crowning.
What I was gonna say is,
get into it.
Is almost like any other sport, right? There's a season for it, and there's an off season, and you can kind of, have a season that progresses towards something that you actually know what you're training for. So I think it's definitely an interesting thing in that sense, where you can periodize your training, you can taper correctly, then kind of ramp your training up for that specific event that you're doing. And again, because of the fact that it's the same every time, where you're making progress, maybe where you're staying stagnant or where you're dipping off. So it's definitely cool in that sense, for sure.
The cool thing is too, HYROX is off season we're by design, it's a winter sport. We're an indoor racing event. So it's really kind of cool, I think, because we are off season of everybody else that's periodizing especially for your CrossFit community here, for the opens, they don't have regionals anymore, but if they qualify for like a sanctional event or maybe something else that's going on, local comps are hopefully coming back. So maybe they're like periodizing for that.
So is that the time of year that it is?
So we run this year was kind of weird. Obviously coming out of COVID, I was like trying to produce events as quick as possible, but generally our season just started and it goes till May of next year for our world championships in Vegas. So it's, we're off season of CrossFit. So a great way to kind of benchmark through the winter time for your CrossFit community is to race a HYROX race, because you get to like actually see, all right, barring the folks that are like, okay, this winter I'm just going to do my squat program and I'm doing small off, and it's going to be just like, I'm just going to kill myself and get to the 600-pound back squat. Okay, cool. Then maybe HYROX might be skewing a little bit towards your sled push only. But generally speaking, if your fitness is there, a lot of times, at least when I was competing, pretty heavily in the CrossFit, scene, it was those local comps. It was those things that I was doing to kind of like get that barometer or that temperature gauge of where my fitness was leading up to the opens, you know what I'm saying? And so HYROX offers us the ability to kind of like plan, strategize, and execute on a competition in the off season.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and what you said, you wanted to know one other thing about the athletes, right? So that's the comparable stuff. And then what was the other part of that question, though? Do you even remember? Because I was,
So it's about what does HYROX provide that's relatable to CrossFitters, but then what does it provide that they still would be into, but they don't get from the CrossFit world? So, you touched on
that's
it
right.
a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then I would just say, it's always, every time I walk into a CrossFit gym, it's always like, it's the running. That's what kind of obviously, just, it kind of cracks me up a little bit, dude, honestly, because for all your viewers out there, like look at your gym's
shoot it straight. Go ahead, shoot it straight, Derek. Shoot it straight.
Look at your gym's programming, dude. Like, what is your gym doing? Like, what do you do in your warm-ups a lot of time? You run. Okay. What do you do probably like 3 out of the 7 days during your CrossFit programming? You're probably doing a 5 rounds for time, 400-meter run into something else too. Like it's been classic like for so long, and I feel like for CrossFitters like, oh, it's the running. You're just like, bro, shut up. You run like every day, bro. Like, you know what? It's that 1,000 meters. It's that middle distance. Yeah, it sucks. And you know what? CrossFit sucks. And fitness, if you want to be good at it, sucks. Like, it's going to be hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this path that we have all chosen to be really healthy and really fit and look good naked and the whole bit, like, it fucking takes work, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but like that. So that's the one thing I'm like, whenever, not that like CrossFitters aren't relatable, but it's just like why HYROX isn't like relatable, but it's like, it's always like, oh, it's the running. And you're like, really, bro? Because I think you run a lot. And really it points out, Chris, like I think the coolest thing, and I'm going to like fully lay this out, that I have a very good relationship with Assault Fitness, and their runner is like my go-to. And if you've watched my postings, I post about the runner a lot, but like, we all need to get better at running. There's like 100%, like, I think we suck at it because we just don't do it right, and no one teaches it right. I think that's something I found over the years. I was a track coach, so I'm a little biased, but you know, the coaches need to do their part. They need to get off their ass and watch some of the old, you know, I remember when, I don't know, Chris, how long you've been in the zone, but like, remember like when like pose running was like a thing in CrossFit a long time ago. This is back in my day when like gymnastics was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like pose running, we used to teach classes on that at the gym. There was like a day of the week, usually on Thursdays, right, where we just worked on pose running and running drills and that type of stuff. Gym owners, like, get off your ass, bro. Like, you know, like, learn something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, get out there. That's why I kind of like was like, in your program, like, you guys are probably, you know, giving some good education to your folks, but maybe, Chris, now that you did the Spartan Games, like, you're ready to kind of like go, oh shit, like, let's do some more running clinics or plug in some of those longer aerobic workouts.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe, you can attest to that.
Yeah, I'm on the program. I'm I'm suffering every week. So
yeah.
Yep.
And by all means, for all you guys that are out there going, dude, screw this guy. Who's this guy? I love getting smashed under a barbell. Like, there's just something wonderful about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So don't get me wrong. Like, my programming definitely is there, and I do post a lot about that too on my stuff. But like, but yeah, no, I think that the running stuff, people just need to kind of like get over it and realize that like there's a lot more than just like the 15-minute time domain in person's fitness. And if that's something you're really scared of, then dude, you got a big ass hole in your fitness, and you need to, you know,
the more you do something and the more you allow your body to treat it as neutral, the more you can enjoy it. And even though all these running intervals and the monostructural work that we do on the program at first was a bit daunting, now, you know, you end up putting in over an hour's work of monostructural work, and you don't even think twice about it because your body's now expecting it to be, you know, the norm. And Christian loved himself a barbell as well, but he says it all the time now, where he's liking that longer grind of, you know, the running, biking, and skiing type of stuff. And he's considering himself more of enjoying the endurance-based stuff as opposed to smashing the barbell over and over again.
And dude, I will say, I know I've been talking a lot about this stuff, but what you said, Christian, what you did today, the 2,000-meter bike erg, and like use the entire line of Concept 2 products is, I mean, they're the best for a reason, dude. Like these machines, which I'm in my office, I'm looking at, I have a whole gym built out right here outside my office. Like, these machines are wonderful. So if you, because I know somebody out there like that's what's watching is like, but my knees hurt, but this, whatever, like, obviously there's probably some things that you and your gym owner should probably be working on that can fix those things instead of just bypassing it. But get on these machines and do some longer interval work. I mean, Chris, like, how low impact, but how great is that, you know, 2,000 meters on the bike, you know?
It's incredible. Like, that bike erg is probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment, just because you can tap into that zone, and because you're not pounding on your joints. Like you could stay on that thing all freaking day as long as you can tolerate it on your tailbone. And your
I know. I wish I could
Yeah.
move this over because I could show you what I have in my office right here. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, see the bike seat?
Yeah, I
There's
got the Durg. I got the Durg going.
Oh, you
but
got
you got the desk.
there.
I put the granny seat on there, dude, so I can actually sit on it and have meetings and like do my emails. Cause dude,
Yeah.
Bro, you sit on that
Yeah.
thing for half an hour, dude. My ass is just cringing, bro.
Well, let me tell you another thing. I got a pair of bike shorts just because I knew there was going to be a longer bike in there, and that you could sit on a bike for a long time with bike shorts.
Oh,
Game
yeah,
changer.
For sure. Yeah,
Game changer.
those things
All
are
right.
that's a mandatory.
Talking about machines and barbells and movements, we're gonna put you on the hot seat, Christian. One of those questions is going to come into play so that we can get a little bit more knowledge about Eric. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Eric, you're on the hot seat, my friend. Here we go.
All right. You are on the hot seat. I'm going to ask you a few questions here. First thing that comes to mind, short answer form works the best. Would you rather move fast or lift heavy?
Move fast.
Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Favorite brunch food?
Fuck, I'm up too early. I'm like my second. I don't know. Sandwich.
Current favorite sneaker?
Oh, Metcons.
Okay. If you had to pick one movement for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Hang squat cleans.
Oh, okay. That's a curveball right there, my friend.
Yeah, dude. I feel like, and I just actually posted about it the other day on my feed. It was like the hang squat. I love to squat. I mean, I was born to just that's my movement. It feels so good, and like for the past few years, I've been doing this 100 of something every day for a year. This year is 100 burpees, which is stupid, by the way. Don't ever do it. And God bless my girl, Kristen Chandler, who's, works marketing for Loud and Live, and she's been doing it with me all year. Matt O'Keefe bailed, I think. Sorry, Matt, if you're watching this. And I'm assuming Dylan ratted on you. But no, so like I love the squat. I love the movement. I think it's wonderful. And I love the hang position because, and I'll just break it down really quick, just nerd like. So the hang position is wonderful for core stability and back posture, right? Like, so that getting into that hang position is just wonderful for like a total body, like stability move. I was doing some halting snatches yesterday, same thing. Holding that hang is wonderful. The power generated through the hip extension on the hang squat clean is just like tasty, dude. Like, you know where that bar is going to hit. It's like, it's so money. And then obviously getting just smashed, underneath the bar. Because you can load the shit out of a hang squat clean, and it's just, I think it's a really cool test of fitness.
For sure.
Sorry, that was long answer.
That was long form there. Last one for you is give us an idea of what your current playlist looks like.
Oh shit, I'm a punk rock guy, so I have on here Bouncing Souls, Face to Face, Good Riddance, Strung Out. Gosh, yeah, and then maybe some, gotta keep it real with some Grizz and some Grammatic, yeah. So,
all right, that concludes you from the hot seat.
That's the hot
dude.
seat.
That was fun.
That was good. The hang squat clean. That was a curveball for sure.
That was a
what do you normally get? What do you normally get?
We get a lot of thruster. That's the go-to answer.
Yeah, like, what do they say? Like full body and like, it's like you get to pull and press.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
I just like heavy shit, like a lot, and it's just, that's just my thing. I see the thruster, I see it, but it's either that for me or
I would probably cheat and say a bear complex.
You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you just kind of dabble in a lot, but yeah.
Does anybody ever say pull-ups or handstands or anything like that?
Haven't got that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my second one. I would say pull-ups was kind of like my thing. I could say I was always good at that, but I came up, I'm like 170 pounds. I've been that way forever, so I can just hang on a bar and just bang, bang, bang.
Right.
Kind of rock and roll. So what do you like? What do you guys like? Besides the bear complex.
The bear, maybe just a heavy power clean for singles over and over again.
Okay.
I would say
Power.
squat clean.
Yeah.
No. All right, CH. That's it for Eric. You got any last statements for him? That's the episode right there.
That's all I got for you, Eric. I'd love to come out and participate in one of these HYROX events. So
yeah, let's do it, man. Anytime. We've got, let me run it down really quick. We've got Dallas coming up in November. We've got our US Open of Fitness happening in Chicago. Big prize money at that one. And that's January. And then we've got, what else we got? We've got New York actually coming to you. We've got New York coming in March, beginning of March. We got Boston, middle of March. What's closer for you? You're
New York. Yeah,
you're in New York. Right? Are you upstate New York?
Long Island.
Oh, you're Long Island. Oh shit, damn, hell yeah! I'll hit you up next time I'm there. I'm about to try to hire somebody in New York actually right now. We got Dallas again coming up in March, and then we've got our World Championships May 14th. Watch for it. We're doing some big deals with like ESPN, CBS, and whatnot right now. So
very cool.
Cool.
We're doing some things.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Yeah, right.
You did.
Yeah, right. For sure. All
right,
right,
guys. Well, thank you so much.
We appreciate you, everyone. Check out Eric and HYROX.com. Later. All right, that was awesome. That was like really informative and just a solid episode for sure.
Absolutely. I'm
all right, my friend.
Trying this thing out and giving it a shot.
Let's get you humbled again. Spartan, now HYROX.
Let's re-humble ourselves.
Let's just bring you around and just keep trashing you in front of everyone. All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
Later. All right, there it was. Another episode. I'm Joe Roscoe with Move Fast, Lift Heavy. Check us out on the gram at Move Fast, Lift Heavy. Go to the website, movefastlift.heavy.com. You can train just like Christian Harris. Get yourself a free t-shirt. And be training with the crew and repping with the crew at the same time. Subscribe, like, swipe up, double tap, all those things. Really appreciate y'all listening. I mean that genuinely, even though I'm being a bit goofy at the end of this pod. But we appreciate you. So thanks for listening. Spend some time with us. Until next time, later.
My name is Christian Harris. I'm a CrossFit athlete, coach, trainer, and founder of Move Fast Lift Heavy. MFLH has always been more than just apparel. It's a way to train, it's a lifestyle to live, and now we've leveled up that mantra by creating our online training platform. Move Fast Lift Heavy now provides personal online programming. The programming can be done either in a gym, with a garage gym setup, or even from the comfort of your own home with a dumbbell or even at body weight. This isn't just your typical workout block. You'll have unlimited access to our coaching staff to ask questions and submit technique videos. MFLH has always been more than just an apparel line. Now you can be a part of the team. Click the link to get started, and let's get to work.